Hey there, and welcome to an exciting episode of Tales from the Podcast. I'm your host, JV, here with Uncle Ron.
I'm so excited to look at my nipples.
Yeah.
I've had a bad week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can tell. That's for sure. Hopefully your nipples get better.
Well, I mean, we
heard about what happened. I did hear.
I should probably avoid you because I have a phone call with you on Wednesday. And an hour and a half later, I'm in the emergency room thinking I'm going to have a stroke. So I'm thinking it might.
Now you're implying that I did something to your nipples.
Well, I don't have to imply.
Yeah, you sick.
I just know that you're all like.
Oh, whatever. Hey, Joanna, how's it going?
I like how your family now thinks that you touch my nipples.
Oh, whatever. They think lots of weird things about me.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's expected at this point, man. It really is. So, anyways, man, how's your week been going other than your nipple issues?
This possible death was fun. Not to get too dark, but on the way to the hospital, it was one of those things where it was I didn't want to die, but I was ready for it. Mainly because my dad was listening to classic rock on the radio, and I had to hear fucking Journey on the way to the ER.
Wrong with Journey.
It's not the last type of music you want to hear when you're headed for the pearly gates.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I much would rather listen to something like He Is Legend.
But is that?
I want to go out with Skylar's dulcet tones in my ears, not Steve Perry grabbing his testicles to get the high notes. And yes, he does, Joanna. Don't ever let him lie to you like that.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I can lie if I fucking want to.
Other than that, the Indiegogo is live for Becoming Undead 3. I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
We're trying to raise. It's the final Becoming Undead. I'm not saying there won't be a feature version,
the last one of all time.
Well, it's the last short because at this point I have to step up the game one way or another. But we're hoping that this is going to be the big one that will be like, hey, we should give this guy money to do stuff. And then I won't have to just do crowdfunding like some comic book fucker. But yeah, other than that, yeah, nothing has, Uncle Ron's Drive-In's going great.
That's awesome, man.
Jacob's Wife, I just saw that episode's up on the website. Barbara Crampton, I never thought that I would see Barbara Crampton's 60-year-old tits, but damn if they aren't, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. They are.
Oh man, I haven't seen Barbara Crampton in anything in a long time.
Oh, she's in everything. They did a Castle Freak remake that she was a producer on. She was in We Are Still Here. She was in You're Next.
What's that VHS style movie that she was in?
Oh, I forget. I don't remember.
You know what? That was the last one I saw with her. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know the director. I just don't remember the name of the movie, but it was a good movie. You know,
yeah, it was
Jackson Stewart, the guy who directed it. He's a good guy. But yeah, so what's going on with you, sir? As I read this from my script after I was told to ask
you. Not too much. Actually, this upcoming weekend, like not this weekend right now, but the weekend of what is it, like the 20th, the 21st, 22nd. Yes. I will be over at the Astronomicon doing that whole convention out there with them. Going to be quite a few fun guests out there, man. It's going to be a pretty entertaining weekend, to say the least.
I can imagine. Now it's bugging me what the name of the movie is. And
Well,
I know it's Skeleton something.
I don't think it is.
Beyond the Gates.
There we go.
Beyond the Gates.
Beyond the Gates. I knew it was Beyond.
She kind of played like this VHS type of like.
Yeah, she didn't have a huge role in it.
No, sure. But it's memorable because it's Barbara fucking Crampton.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, she got eaten out by a fucking disembodied head, for crying out loud.
Well, to be fair, I think you did too. So anyway,
just because it's into ass play, it's not my fault.
Okay, whatever.
It's not my fault. Go play with my nipples.
Well, anyways, let's go ahead and get started with this episode. Let's go ahead and introduce our fucking guest.
Does he really want to come up now?
I don't know. Does he? He says no.
He's gonna lose money on his Kickstarter now. They're gonna be like,
nope. No. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce our guest for this evening, Mr. Josh Nealis. How's it going, buddy?
It'd be better if somebody wasn't calling me a comic book fucker.
Hey, I'm a comic book
fucker too. If you want his address, I'll give it to you. You can
go ahead. Well, we can talk comics through my door.
Comics and Packers, yeah.
We'll talk about the Packers and how Aaron almost made me have a heart attack, and then we'll talk about comics. I'll take you to the local shop, which is about the size of a closet, but it's amazing because he can get you anything.
I highly doubt that.
Hey, look, that was pure heroin, okay?
From somebody who just like only collects EC comics, I'm going to tell you right now, I highly doubt he can get me anything.
He has Amazing Fantasy 15, and he has a copy that he said is just waiting for me when I have the $15,000 of Journey into Mystery number 83.
Fair enough.
What is that, gents? Do anybody know what that is?
Is it Loki?
That's the first appearance of Thor.
Is it 83? I thought it was 32.
No, it's 83.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Still,
I don't know what it is about that character, but it's just something about Thor. Maybe because he's so muscly and blonde.
Right there.
Yep.
What was that, nipple toucher? What? I couldn't hear. What?
There's the comic book fucker.
Yeah, I am the comic book fucker.
So anyways, Josh, what's going on with you, man? I understand that you have some pretty cool shit going on.
Yeah. This is probably my busiest week in my comic book career, really, because you guys are podcast number 5 this week. I just came from one just a minute ago.
But number 1 in your heart, right?
I mean, like 1A.
1A.
Wow.
It's 1A. All right.
Now he's going to touch your nipples. I hope you realize that's what you've just done to yourself.
Yeah.
I blame anything past like not being number 1 solely on Ron, because I feel like you and I had a really good connection when we met.
Well, at least I'm not from Louisiana.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Besides the podcast, I'm here to promote the Kickstarter that we so mentioned, little gnat flying around. But
you've hit like the 120% stretch goal now, or you're headed to it?
Yeah, 123% funded. So we hit one stretch goal. We're on our way to the second. So that's pretty good for my first Kickstarter ever. I'm pleasantly pleased to have made it this far. And we still got like 2.5-3 weeks or whatever it is. So
that's pretty awesome. I went ahead and I shared the Kickstarter for everybody in the
I'm curious
Facebook,
if
YouTube,
you don't
and Twitch.
Don't mind me asking, why Kickstarter, not Indiegogo? Because Indiegogo has that flex funding where if you don't hit your goal, you still get to keep what you made.
Yeah, probably, honestly, because I already had an account for Kickstarter because I've backed Kickstarters. So I just
that's fair. Laziness. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it. So anyways, before we continue on, let's go ahead and keep up with some of these comments. Joe, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Nothing too new, man. Hopefully everything's going well with you. We got David here, Puppet Master.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't either. We're going to be talking about Tales from the Crypt. And then we got our good buddy, Andy Imhoff. Shit. I fucking love you, Andy, man. Nice to see you on here. You're gonna need a bigger. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, so
my brain is too fucked up right now to even fathom those words. Like what
Fair
they
enough.
like. Yeah, boom.
No, you're good. You're good. So Anyways, man, I'm really excited to see what this Turkey Shark's going to be about. I know I went ahead and I backed it, and you gave a little bit of a preview on some of these comic book covers, and there was something in there that I noticed, and I'm pretty sure it's probably for a different reference than what comes to my head right away, but it is something I wanted to ask you about. So
Let it
there
fly.
is, huh?
Let it fly.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
The basic bitch cover.
Okay.
It says there's a Zebo reference on the cover.
Okay.
My head goes instantly to Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I never really watched that show that much.
No?
Is there a Zebo on that show?
Yes.
I'm aware of the show. I've seen it.
Zebo the Clown?
Was that a... Oh, that does kind of sound familiar.
It was a pretty popular episode back then. I was just curious.
No. That character, I was behind this like weird truck several months ago, and on the back it was like a box to make things go up and down, and it looked like a robot, and I Snapchatted it, and I put like, look how scared this robot is or something, because it looked like it was like stuck to the back of the truck. And I don't know, one of my buddies started chatting with me back and forth about it, and we ended up saying, it was a drunk homeless robot that like got strapped to the back of the truck, and I just started calling it Zebo. So I guess I didn't really actually know that was a thing. But actually, if you look on the chest of Zebo, it says GBP, and it actually says 1221, which is anybody?
What was it?
GBP 1221. Come on, Ron.
Green Bay Packers. 12/21. That was shit.
I don't watch sports.
Not a date. It's
not a date.
No.
Okay. I think the 12 is Aaron.
Yep.
And the 21 is Davonte Adams.
Nope. Charles Woodson.
Oh, okay, close enough.
Just
it was somebody who caught balls.
Yeah,
caught balls that wasn't JB catching them in his mouth. Yeah.
Every robot has like Awesome 3000 and all that. So I was like, maybe put some little letters and numbers under there that mean more or less nothing, but just a little.
I don't think the robot things from Chopping Mall or Johnny 5 had any numbers on them.
Well, Johnny 5 was Johnny
Alive.
5. Yeah. Also, real quick before we go any further, did Davonte Adams re-sign or no?
I don't know. I think he's up next year, isn't he?
Oh no, he was. There was some weird contract talks because of Aaron's situation.
Oh yeah,
but I know Randall Cobb's back. So
yeah, I'm happy about that. I like RC. And he's from Kentucky, or he played for Kentucky, which I'm technically a Kentucky fan, even though I don't really follow it. So, but that's cool.
I'm technically a Badger fan, even though I couldn't tell you who the quarterback was last year.
Yeah,
or the quarterback. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this episode for this week. So this week we are actually talking about a pretty fun episode, to be honest with you. And this episode is from season 4. It is episode 11.
11.
And it's based from the Vault of Horror issue number 30. And this was originally released in August 26th of 1992. I'm sure that's oh god, it's gonna be one of those. But this actually stars Joe Pesci, one of Ron's favorite actors.
Hey, he is fucking amazing in The Irishman. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Take 3.5 hours out of your life.
No.
And watch. Fuck you. I have it on Criterion. That's how much I love that movie.
Yeah, but you're wrong sometimes with your movies.
Not really.
Yeah, it's okay though. It is.
I can watch The Irishman and then I can turn around and watch Street Trash. So I mean,
yeah, fair enough. This also has Joey Pants in it, Burt Young, Julie Michaels, and we got Jacqueline and Kristen Citron, who I just noticed this because I've decided to go and look through all their credits. They each have 7 credits each for the same things all together. So these 2 women have actually played twins in 7 different
They're professional twins.
They're professional twins. That's what they are. Yeah. It was just something I noticed really, really weird, because usually when you have an actress, even if they're a twin or not, like even like the Olsen twins, for instance, I'm sure there was a movie that one was in that the other one wasn't. I could be wrong. I really have no fucking clue.
Brittany Daniel, you know who that is?
Oh,
No.
Jesus.
From Joe Dirt.
Okay.
She's a twin.
Yeah.
And she was like one of my crushes for a long time. She was like the hottest girl in the world. And then I was reading something and it said she was a twin, and I fucking passed out. I woke up like 2 hours later and I was like, what?
I need a cigarette.
Yeah. Crazy.
So you got that weird fascination that Joe Pesci did in this episode too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hey, what's up, Brittany Daniel?
Did you walk up to Brittany Daniel and be like, I'm too sexy for my hair?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If I thought it would work, I would try it. She's something.
oh yeah, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I'll go ahead and talk about this episode a little bit. This episode's actually pretty cut and dry. It's a pretty simple episode. We get this man at a casino, and he's gambling, trying to get some money for a surgery, and then it seems like Joe Pesci's character is actually kind of being nice to him a little bit, and then just cons him out of $10,000. And then then we cuts over to Joe Pesci laying in obviously a suite at a hotel, and I'm pretty sure he's laying there with the hooker. Let's be honest.
Well, he does say it. What am I paying you for? As he smacks her. Say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. And then he gets into the story, and the story is pretty much our story that we're getting for this episode. Which, when we get to what we thought about this episode, that whole concept kind of drove me nuts. But he starts talking about twins and how everything he likes, it's 2 is always better. And he goes on and he makes a couple of references like that. But he goes into the story, and the story is pretty much him blowing out his car tire and then going up to this house and kind of like conning his way into these girls' lives. And these 2 twins end up kind of falling for him. And then he doesn't really want to marry one of them. He tries to figure out a way to marry both of them to just get more money. Like the whole concept of this right here is pretty much just conning anybody and everybody that he can.
And they're worth like $2 billion.
Yeah. I can honestly say that Joe Pesci seems like he would be a con man. Like he plays the role way too well. Like I don't believe that he doesn't try to con old ladies after watching this. But anyways, throughout this story, he like I said, he's trying to con these women and like out of their money. So he comes up with like a alter ego type thing where him and his Californian brother,
my brother Jack,
who's a twin, who what did I call him earlier? He's not really a Californian brother. He's more of like a Right Said Fred brother. He's too sexy for his hair, and it's pretty much just Joe Pesci with a clip on his hair.
He's too sexy for that joke.
Right. And every other month he switches places with his brother in South Africa and goes from banging one twin to the other twin. And eventually he ends up getting a sunburn, and the sunburn's kind of what gives him away. The 2 women are sitting there talking about, how wild he is, and pretty much they're both getting like the same sexual experience from their men, which is very odd.
Well,
but then
I would argue it's not, because twins end up doing a lot of similar things. So, I mean, who's to say that both twins wouldn't like tying up their women? You know what I mean? It's and right there, if I can get sciencey for a second, that seems a way more nature than nurture. Like they were born that way. You know what I mean? So
they were born tying women up.
They were born with a BDSM mask on. So
I don't think that's a thing.
You don't think that twins do things alike?
I think they do to an extent, but like I don't think their sex lives are going to be identical too.
Unless we've been in the Olsen twins' bedroom, we have no idea.
Right? Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't want to, because I think that they would have used up all the heroin by now.
What you said, they didn't share?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
How you think I'm going to lose weight?
You can always get on it.
Yeah, but they pay for it.
Joe does not promote heroin, guys.
They pay for it.
God damn it. But anyways, they end up noticing that Joe Pesci and his brother both have the same sunburn, and they kind of come to the conclusion that they've been being played the entire time. So a drawer that is usually locked is not locked at this time. And, he ends up noticing, going over to it, and starts to realize that these girls killed their dad, which, after knocking him out, they do admit to it. And they decide that they don't want to share him. So they cut him in half so they both have him. And, right down the fucking center, too. They started right at his fucking nutsack and go up.
Nice clean cut. They got the seam of the sack, too.
Yeah. I will say that chainsaws cannot cut that clean.
Well, they're billionaires, so they probably have Batman chainsaws.
That's all right. That's fair. All right, prove me wrong. But then they kind of cut to them like cuddling with their halves, and that pretty much ends the episode. It's like I said, pretty cut and dry episode. It's
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you did. And Ron, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got the comic book this week, buddy.
I do, and it's basically the exact same thing. It's almost literally the episode, which is very rare from my experience so far as being the co-host of Tales from the Podcast. The one who never mind. So the only difference is they used an axe, and they didn't show in the comic like that he was actually cut in half. They just kind of implied that he was cut in half. But no, it's pretty much the same thing. And the guy was taller and better looking
than Joe Pesci.
Yeah, it's not exactly hard. You could just tell he was.
Okay.
I mean, granted, like I said, Joe Pesci has to stand on a box to pee into a urinal. So,
no, all right.
Go ahead and eat your bread with your grape juice. Come on, go ahead, do it.
God damn it! That's all right. All right. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps up,
That's the episode, everybody. We'll see you next time.
No. We got to talk about what we thought about it. Give it our rating, of course.
Oh, yes.
Now, Josh, did you get a chance to watch this episode as well, correct?
I did. Yeah.
I know you've been busy, so.
In between his press tour.
I was doing my workout while watching. I was going back and forth, had to pause it and all that.
So, I guess you pretty much know the drill. You've been on here quite a few times by now. Yeah. Well, what do you think about this episode, and where would you rate it?
I was trying to remember which other episode. This is the third episode I've watched, I'm pretty sure.
I believe so.
Yeah, I feel like the first episode I still kind of liked the most, but I'd give this like a 3 out of 5 UCs, maybe something like that.
3 out of 5.
I like Joe Pesci. I mean, he's entertaining even when it's not like Casino, or he's still he's funny to watch and funny like
funny
a
how
funny
how like a clown. Like I amuse you.
Yep. And Joey Pants being super young and all that was kind of neat to see, and you get to see some boobies. I mean, I had to actually, my kid was sitting next to me and he like looked over. I was like, nope. So
it's okay to watch Joe Pesci get cut in half, but don't look at them titties.
Yep, pretty much.
I
think I turned the computer at that point when it did that. He was watching Ben 10 or something anyway.
So you watched it on YouTube?
Yeah. That's where you sent it, right?
Yeah. I always send everybody a link just for one of the YouTube ones, but deep down, I'm always hoping, like, man, I hope I'm like the only person who did not go out and buy multiple box sets of this show.
You can't be the only weirdo, I'm sure.
No, there has to be at least one more of us. But all right, well that's fair. That's a pretty solid rating. How about you, Ron? Where do you
give it a I give it a 4 out of 5.
Our scale's usually out of 10.
Okay, well then I give it a 9. I give it a 9 out of then I give it a 9 out of 10. I don't know if it's because we finally got a Tales from the Crypt episode that was worthy of the name of the show, or one that had a twist that I kind of didn't see coming, even though I made the mistake of reading the comic book first, because I'm a dumbass.
I will agree with that.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, go play with your nipples. Yeah, see, there you go. And what's even funnier is he's wearing a fuck Ron per t-shirt, so he's still technically touching my
fuck Ron for tea.
Yep.
Cocksucker.
Hey, it doesn't say all that on the shirt. That would have cost extra.
Does.
That would have cost extra. Oh, you wrote it in with like sober Sharpie.
I did it myself.
Yeah.
But the whole back
it was
all done up too, like a piece of shit, motherfucking cocksucker.
and it went all the way around the back.
Right.
But no, it's the fact that it was written by Fred Dekker, who we all know what Fred Dekker's done. I don't have to say
what
that.
a screenplay was. Like you said, it's pretty much like a direct copy of the comic book.
Right. But I mean, they had to update it.
That's Gaines and Stephen Dodd.
Yeah, they had to update it because in the 50s. I'm pretty sure that Right Said Fred hadn't done their "I'm too sexy" bullshit yet. So
we didn't mention the director of this episode.
Oh, I'm going to mention Joel Silver and how he's not really a director. So it was kind of odd that this is the one he wanted to direct. Maybe because he wanted to say he directed Pesci, and because he's one of the. Hey, you'd be surprised that the reason people direct films sometimes. Even when you have people like Walter Hill and Zemeckis and all these other people who are amazing filmmakers, Joel Silver, who, mind you, is holding up the rights to this fucking show right now. So we can't get any new stuff, and we can't get a re-release of anything. It's all on DVD. It's not on Blu-ray at all, right?
Right.
And it's all his fault. So I guess fuck him. It's sick. Fucking
To be fair, he has not went to any of the court dates in so long. He's letting it revert back. It's just taking the court system so long.
Another thing
it's
I
not
noticed,
his fault, and this is his only directing ever.
But here's the reason why it looks like it's a competent film or episode. I'm getting confused by people in the comments calling it a movie, because the cinematographer was Jan de Bont, who is more. I had to actually bring up a list because he's a Dutch cinematographer and director. He directed Speed and Twister, and he was a DP for Cujo, Flesh and Blood, Die Hard, The Hunt for Red October, and Basic Instinct. So of course he's going to be able to make the episode look good. And the shittiest of directors can have a good looking movie if the DP is Jan de Bont. Okay. If I had Jan de Bont, I would have movies that people wanted to watch.
That's fair.
So, but yeah, I
back from hiring him.
Millions of dollars, but that kind of thing. Plus he's 77 and he lives in the Netherlands. So, but yeah, so this episode for me really actually it did feel like a movie, like a very short movie. And I don't know if it was because of Pesci or because the way Jan de Bont shot it, or because it wasn't because of Joel Silver's directing. Because any director with half a fucking brain would not have had Joe Pesci doing the Right Said Fred stuff. Let's be honest.
I bet.
You think it was Joe Pesci's idea?
Out there,
you might have ad-libbed it, maybe. Yeah.
If anybody out there has any connection to Joe Pesci,
can you ask him why he did that rap album?
I would put money on it that he improv that whole thing.
I mean, here's the thing.
You're talking about 1993. What year did that song come out?
About right there.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know what I mean? So let's see. That came out.
But he goes from that amazing scene in Goodfellas where he improvs the whole what's so funny? Am I a fucking cloud? The whole thing was improv. To Right Said Fred, it just doesn't make sense.
So this song came out in 91. This right here came out. This episode was in 92. So it was probably filmed. Filmed right about the time that song got big.
A giant hit at the same time, probably.
Like
it really.
Tell me right now,
back
in the early 90s, you weren't walking around like, oh, I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Because I was 11.
It doesn't matter how old you were. It was stuck in your head. And it was probably stuck in Joe Pesci's head too.
When I was 11 years old, I was listening to Sabbath. I wasn't listening to because I hung out with stoners. I didn't smoke anything. I was the guy who had to look out for the cops while they all smoked up. But I got free records, so who might have complained?
I'm sure Josh would at least admit that he was listening to Right Said Fred.
I mean, not intentionally. I actually never really listened to that song, but I mean, I'm sure I probably sang it and shit. It was just I was listening to Paula Abdul. Thank you very much.
Well, he was looking into Paula Abdul, so he'd have a reason to take his pants off at night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
See?
be honest. In 1991, I was 3. I wasn't singing, so
Yeah, I don't. The only thing straight up about Paula Abdul was my dick.
I prefer Opposites track, but sure. I mean, that was a good one too.
So I guess we'll get to what I thought about this one and my rating on this episode.
Who said I was done? I'm done. Go ahead.
You're done. You talk too much. So I think overall on this one, I would probably give it a solid 8, 7.5, 8. I think they kind of, it was a really good episode. It wasn't as good as some of the earlier ones from like season 2, but it was still a lot of fun. It was like the return of like real Tales from the Crypt episodes compared to some of the last ones that we've just watched, which kind of were a little, kind of bland for the most part. The practical effects in this one, like, sure, they weren't the greatest, as Ron kind of pointed out when we were talking earlier, but they were still pretty decent for the budget and everything for back in this time. Like there was way worse that's happened. I thought the twins were not the best actresses out there, to be fair. Like they did an okay job. They did what they were supposed to do for it, but it was just kind of, they didn't really add too much to it. Like there was nothing really special about them on screen. Something about this episode completely kind of like, I wouldn't say like pissed me off, but really was irritating to me. So we get like this whole thing with, Joe Pesci in the beginning and talking to this guy, and then he's talking to the hooker about everything and goes into the story. How did this story happen? And then he's with a hooker. Is this like is this like his afterlife area? Like,
well, no, he was talking to her, and once he realized what he had to do to marry them, he didn't talk to the hooker after that.
Yeah, it was like bouncing back and forth. Once he married him, then he never saw the hooker again.
Well, yeah, but he's telling the story of what happened
up until that point. Until the point where he marries them.
The narrative switched once he married the twins.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's still like,
it's told in a very non-linear fashion that's a little off-putting for a 30-minute episode.
Yep.
Well, I know. Even if the narrative switches and everything, how the fuck is he even telling the story to begin with, even from the start, if he's with a hooker at the time? Does that make any sense?
Maybe the hooker was one session right before he got married. It was his bachelor party to himself or something, maybe.
Well, his
he
brother
didn't exactly have
there.
a lot of friends.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think it was like a kind of like a flaw of like their storytelling for this episode.
I also think that this episode was made is as good as it is because of the star power. If you had put anybody else in there,
the only star power really in this episode is Joe Pesci.
I don't know, man. Burt Young is great. I love Burt Young, but I'm also a big Rocky fan. So
let's be honest, okay? Burt Young could be fucking amazing. That's fine. How long was he on screen?
Well, compared to like if this had been a film, he would have been on there for a good 10, 15 minutes.
But he wasn't. This is a TV episode, and he maybe had a minute at the most.
Which is a lot of airtime for a 30-minute episode.
But, like the star
plus he's
power
the first
thing
thing you see
in this one.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's not the star power. He is the star power, but I really feel like, you get Joey Pants and like his disdain for Pesci, what he had, what he's doing for him, and it's just, and like, plus Burt Young was in Back to School. Remember Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah, I know Back to School, and even having Joey Pants in this. And don't get me wrong, I like Joey Pants. He's awesome, but he only gets like what, 30 seconds on screen too.
2 lines or something like that.
Yeah, like this whole episode pretty much boils down to Joe Pesci and 2 girls who've only played twins. That's it. And like it was okay for what it was and everything. It wasn't like spectacular or anything.
Well, it's not going to win any Emmys, no, but
well, you don't know that.
I do, because it's from 1992.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You got me there. I don't know though. It was still a decent episode. Like, I'm not mad about it or anything, but
Compared to what we've been getting, it's amazing.
I just
And
feel
that
like
might be another. That might be
whole
another reason
story
why
was-
it gets rated so high for me, especially because it's actually Tales from the Crypt. It's not like, hey, let's do a Western with some ghosts, and hey, let's have Brad Pitt race an old dude.
both
Yay.
of them sound awesome. No, I'm joking. I don't know. There's something about this, the way it was told, kind of bothered me. I think they could have went about it in a whole different way. Like, there was no reason of having the whole casino type spot in the beginning. You know, they could have established he was a con man so many other ways than doing it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the best place to con people is when they just won a ton of money.
No, the best way to con people is to start sending them publishing clearinghouse bullshit.
Well, I mean,
I thought it was running for president.
yeah.
Oh,
Fair enough.
Hey, now let's not get political. People from Louisiana might get upset.
Oh, whatever. They'll just go fuck a minor and be over it.
Oh, wow. There it was. There it was. I'm glad I didn't say it.
You usually don't. But
This is true because I see a line and I'm like, okay, do I want to have a stroke and a heart attack because I have to put up with the bullshit that comes with it afterwards? No.
you're just like, I'm gonna push Justin right there. And
Yeah, I'm like, and if he falls off
the
the edge, that's his fault, not mine.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be worse. I'm over it.
It could be worse because they could be on the show right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I still
Josh
wish
has no idea what we're talking about.
yeah, I kind of know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
Okay.
But like I said, I just feel that I think this episode could have just had, get rid of the whole beginning part from the hooker, and maybe he's showing him like conning some old lady out of something like Matilda's dad style. You know what I mean? Like gluing on a fucking bumper and selling a car or something stupid. And like there's just so many different ways, because like the way it kind of just started is. It just, I don't know. It didn't make sense. It shouldn't have been like that.
It made sense to me. What about you, Josh? It makes sense to you?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like
Maybe
it.
you need some sleep, sir.
Maybe you need to fuck yourself.
Well, you don't have to tell me to do that.
Fair enough. So, anyways,
It's
that's
sex
what
with someone
thought
I
about it.
love.
That's sad. So
It is.
sad.
It is.
So, anyways, man, I know it's getting pretty late for you, Josh. That's for sure, and you've been really busy, so I'm sure you probably want us to kind of wrap this one up a little bit too.
I mean, I planned on midnight, so as long as we're
Fair enough.
train wrapped around it, I got to be up at probably like 6:45 to head down to Columbus. So
Free comic book day.
I'll be at work way before then.
Before when we sign off, I want to ask you something, Josh. So, after we sign off. So,
okay.
All right, so just don't leave the green room, I guess.
yeah.
So, anyways, like I said before, guys, I've already went ahead. I've shared the Kickstarters for everybody for Turkey Sharks. So please, if you can, I know he's already reached his goals, but he has these stretch goals, which, by the way, Josh, can you tell us anything about some of these upcoming stretch goals that you have?
Yeah. I mean, I'm giving out hand jobs.
How much more do I have to donate?
Yeah, like $4,000 more, probably.
4,000.
Please nobody donate that much because I'm not giving you a hand job. Well, okay, if I can wear gloves, I might. But no, so the one we hit just now was
Somebody donate 4,000.
yeah, that would be honestly the
I'm the only one that lives close enough to make you fucking go up to this deal.
So it's fully funded, but it's only $500. I set it low. This is my first one. I wanted to keep it conservative so I could get my feet under me on this whole Kickstarter thing and how it works. But I mean, really, the book costs like $4,000 by the time we get to print.
There you go.
So, yeah. But yeah, the first stretch goal we hit at $600, and that's me signing all the books. The next one is going to be a PDF of the script, which I think is neat. I think it would be interesting to see. You could read the comic and then go look at the script and be like, this is totally different. You can see all the changes we made and all that. and see how unprofessional my scripts are. Because I can tell you right now, I never took a class on how to actually do it. I just kind of lay it out for Cristiano, and he does his thing. After that, I think the next stretch goal after that, if we get there, is a pretty cool one. You get the Turkey Sharks Breakfast Club cover, but it's just the inks and pencils, and it's a coloring sheet. So I might do, like, if we get to that far, I may do like some little contest or something where everybody sends in their coloring, and maybe I'll pick one or two to win like a free book or something. After that, it's a logo magnet, and then after that, we've got these little baby crabs that were on Ray's pajamas in Stingray 3, I think. And I made these funny little stickers out of them. So
at least they weren't real baby crabs.
Yeah.
They get pinchy on the nipples.
Yep. So it's going well. I mean, it's a cool book, and you mentioned the Basic Bitch and Zebo cover, which was done by Chris Mad. So if you've read No Heroin or Dead End Kids from Source Point Press, he worked on both of those. The other cover was by Brian Silverbacks, who has worked for Image and Aftershock, Source Point Press, Scout. He works a lot for Scout. So I got two up-and-coming pretty big names on this project, which I'm very happy about. I was very happy that when I reached out, they were all on board with it.
Right. That's really cool. I not to give anything away, but I definitely and it's nothing personal, but to be fair, I pretty much own almost everything you have. So for me to get some of the other things was kind of pointless. So I just bought all the covers of this one.
Well, that's why I did that. Well, and the Breakfast Club spoof cover is a Kickstarter exclusive. So
yeah,
it's going to be a low print run, and you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. So let's say 20 years from now, Turkey Sharks get made into a show or a cartoon or movie. I mean, you've got a book, number one, and there's only 25 copies or 50 copies or whatever it ends up being. So, I mean, that could be fairly valuable.
No, don't think 20 years from now. Invincible was a comic that ended its run, 3-4 years ago. And now it's, I would say, one of the better animated shows out. Well, superhero shows, at least.
It was really good. But yeah, I mean, I hope it's not 20. Yeah, 5 or 6 years would be even better.
Right.
Enjoy some of that.
Amazon and Netflix are going to be chomping at the bit for fucking material. So,
yeah, they more
they
than likely.
We have a restraining order out on me, though. So that's.
Oh, to be fair, it's understandable.
I have to use a VPN to watch Better Call Saul reruns.
Oh God,
they won't even let me watch them. Yeah.
Well, it's because they see what you do when you watch them.
Hey, Ray Seahorn is fucking gorgeous.
That's still really, really cool, man, though, Josh. I'm really excited for you. I'm really hoping that you're able to hit a lot of these stretch goals.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see the actual comic book itself. I know I'm getting 4 of the same comic itself, but I'm still really excited to check it out and everything, man.
It turned out really good. And for people that haven't read my other comics, like there is a catch-up pack where you can get all, I think it's $40, I think is what it is, and you get all 10 comics. So Stingray 1 through 3, Pedo Mannequin Friendly 1 through 3, Ginger Avenger 1 through 3, and Turkey Sharks 1. So 10 comics for $40 is pretty good. I think that's the price of it.
Let me go ahead. I'm just looking right now. For $5, you get a digital copy of Turkey Sharks. For $22, you get all 4 covers. For $5 or more, you get the physical copy. $6, you get the exclusive Breakfast Club cover. $8 is the Brian Silverbacks cover. Chris Mad Basic Bitch Zebo covers $8. Digital catch-up pack, is that the one you're talking about?
That's the digital. There's also
all right, yeah. So digital one's $20 and $40 is the physical catch-up package, which that's definitely it's only the A cover it comes with?
Yeah, it's only the A cover.
Oh, that's fair. All right. Yeah. Let's see. $100 gets you the retailer incentive package, which gives you multiple copies, 26 comic books in total.
Yeah,
that's quite a bit of comic books.
That's for stores and stuff like that. Haven't had any of those, which I didn't think we would get. It'd be cool to get one of them though. That'd be awesome if like one store did that. Which I've had stores buy that many before, but not, like I said, this is the first Kickstarter, so not off Kickstarter yet. So
Right. If you need a hand with that, dude, you know I live next to a lot of comic book stores over this way.
Also, if you need a hand job,
Yeah.
he lives right next to it. Never mind.
No, this is what I'll be expecting.
Yeah, I've been to all the ones. I think Game Room has a couple. No, they might not even have them anymore. I think I took them out because they put them in a box. I was like, these are not going to sell in a box. They need to be out. So yeah, I don't think any of the stores in Toledo have any of my stuff anymore. So
Really?
yeah.
We'll definitely have to fix that then. That's for sure. I personally, they don't pay me, so I probably shouldn't give them a shout out. But Freedom Comics is a pretty cool place over there. They've gotten a hold of me for quite a few different EC titles that I've dealt with them with quite a bit. But
I think I went and talked to them, and they sent some stuff to CGC for me. They were very nice, but I think when I brought up my comics, they didn't seem to have much interest, which is, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, all right, well, if I ever get famous and you want me to come in, I'm going to charge you extra money.
right.
Douchebags.
Yeah.
Well, what can you do, unfortunately? Some people look at things as just about the money, and just in a way, you can't really blame them for it. You know, if that's what they're in for it, then that's what they're for.
Yeah, I get it. And there's been several shops that have kind of done me like that. Most of the shops I approach were like, yeah, put them on our shelf, and it's consignment, which is fine.
What kind of a cut did they take? Like 10%?
I think I just what is it? I think they get $3.50 and I get $1.50.
Well, I mean that is retail area that you're taking up, yeah.
Right. So, you know, it is what it is. I get it. I'm not too mad. There was one comic shop that kind of pissed me off though, and I won't say who it was, but they're
Midtown? No.
Yeah, they're a nice drive away from here, and I had called them and told them, and they said, yeah, bring them up. So I went up there, and the guy was like, yeah, I don't really want these. I was pretty pissed. I was like, why didn't you tell me that over the phone before I like drove all the way up here? And what's funny too, and maybe he didn't think about this, but I was gonna buy some stuff. If he would have just picked up my books and had them on his shelf, there was like 2 or 3 comics on his wall that I was gonna spend like $50-$60 right there. So he lost money by being a dick about it, kind of. It's just, you know,
that's usually how it goes.
Yep. So
I've walked out of the game room before. I won't go back there personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just, you know, if you're treated a certain way, you know, I got enough money.
See,
to
that's
spend
the thing
everywhere.
is we had a shop here. It was maybe like half hour from my house. That it was one of those things where if you went down there, it was like a special trip because it was a bit of a drive. But they would always order so many copies of books that if you needed one that my normal guy couldn't get, they would have it there just sitting on the shelf, and you'd end up paying cover price. Or if you go online, they're charging 2-3 times the amount. So I mean, they're out of business now because they're not the smartest business people, but you know.
Right. There was one place in Toledo, and
Paco's Hungarian Comics.
No, I forget what this was called, but I walked in there and it was a brand new comic shop. And I was like, hey, here's my books. Do you guys want to sell them? And they were like, yeah, we'll sell them. And then like 2 weeks later, they sent me an email or something saying like, hey, it was because of Pedo Man, it's a slapstick stupid book. The guy's like, yeah, I think we'll get in trouble for our landlord if we carry this. And I was like, you won't, but okay, sure. So I was like, hey, just take him down to the game room. And I kind of knew right there. I was like, first off, that's kind of stupid. Like, why did you take them and now you don't want them? But they went out of business real fast, and I kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. So,
yeah, unfortunately, you get that here and there, especially in Toledo. Yeah. They come and go. That's for sure.
Yeah, shop I go to has been almost 30 years.
Yeah,
COVID be damned. He was delivering the books by hand. He just, it's. When they were printing, because I know for a good couple of months there, Marvel and DC weren't printing anything.
Yeah, this one I'm going to tomorrow for Free Comic Book Day. I'm pretty excited. I've been trying to get in there for a while. It's
where are you going tomorrow?
It's Pack Rat Comics down in it's in Hilliard, which is pretty close to Columbus. But myself and Dirk Manning, who I know will be there. So it should be pretty cool.
Dirk's actually going to be at Astronomica when I'm there.
Yep, I saw he was saying he was going to be up there. He goes there. Yeah, doesn't Twisted run that or something?
Twisted to be there too, but I got a bunch of Dirk Manning's Twisted high on comic books, so obviously they know each other pretty well too.
Yeah, I was pretty sure Twisted like had something to do with that as far as like.
Well, I know that they're not the ones that gave me my press pass. I'll say that much.
They're there every year, so.
Oh yeah, they're there a lot. Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Like a lot of the people that are there every year, especially in this area, are going to be the people that are living in this area too.
Right.
Like why do you think the Monroe one always has James O'Barr? Because he lives right there. You know what I mean? It's just basic common sense. Like we always get Butch Patrick in this area like crazy because he has family over here,
and because he doesn't know when. Never mind.
He's still little old Eddie Munster to me.
Good old Monroe Pop Fest. I'm excited about that one this year. It's a day and a half this year now. It's Friday and Saturday.
Oh yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to make it.
Should be pretty
Work's
cool.
been crazy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I got to meet some pretty cool people. It's definitely a smaller one. Like to me, the Monroe one kind of focuses a little bit too much on the wrestlers.
Yeah, they're
very, very low end wrestlers.
Outlaw Mud Show.
It's not like Astronomicon having Mick Foley. It's nothing like that. They're very, very. It's like, oh, we got Rhino again.
Well, it's because he lives there.
Exactly.
Does he ever talk about his failed mayoral bid?
He and Gary have their own podcast. So Gary's the guy that runs that show.
Yeah, I know. One of these days, Rhino's going to get in trouble for fucking driving and podcasting at the same time. It's like that dude's going to get in a fucking car wreck. He does not pay attention to anything.
But he's the war machine.
Who does a podcast while they're driving? That's fucking insane. Like, I can't be the only one who thinks that.
No. He is insane. So
yeah, I've never met him. Gary, the dude that runs it, he's a solid guy though. He's
he's really, really nice. I have nothing against. I don't have anything against either of them. I think it's insane to be driving and doing a podcast. Like
I probably would do that. I probably would do it. I'm not
right.
If somebody wanted me on and it was important, I would probably do it.
I don't know.
Right now, here's my phone.
Right. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It's getting pretty late out here and everything. So Josh, if you want to sit there and wait for us again, that'd be awesome. I want to thank you once again for coming out for us and checking this out and being part of the show again. Like I've shown for everybody, go check him out. The link has been shared in all of the chats. It's obviously on our Tales from the Podcast 2G1C pages as well. So, and Josh, of course, man, Instagram, Twitter, tag me in any of the posts that you're doing there too, if you want to, and just share it with everybody. Let's try to hit some more stretch goals, though, man. I'd really like to see what the hell you have coming up with a lot of these other things. I want to talk to you about maybe, I got a buddy who does molding and everything for toys. I think you need to make a little like half turkey, half shark little keychain. It'd be really cool. Then again, maybe I just have problems. But dude, thank you once again, man. It's greatly appreciated and always a fucking pleasure to have you on, dude.
I appreciate it too, guys.
All right, well, I'm gonna drop you below, man. We'll talk to you in a bit. Another episode down.
That's right.
How you doing?
Nothing, 12 hours of sleep and getting up and struggling with my job tomorrow won't cure.
Oh man. Well, hopefully it'll be all right.
Oh yeah, I'll struggle through that whole like rolling over to get to work thing. It's a real pain in the ass.
I bet so.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything that you want to add before we go ahead and get the fuck out of here tonight, man?
Just if you can donate to the Becoming Undead 3 Indiegogo, there it is right there. This is the last Becoming Undead film. I have other stories that I want to tell, and it might not be the last Becoming Undead that I make, but it's the last short in the series. If that makes any sense. Like, there's, how when you do comic books and you have a 6-issue run and people are like, well, that's it. I'm like, yep, that's it. I'm like, oh wait, I'm going to do a one shot here, or I'm going to do a one shot there. you know, he knows what I'm talking about. I'm looking at him if he's paying any attention. But no, but yeah, so that's we're trying to get that made, and we also want to get it done before fall comes up here, because we want to have the film out before or for Halloween. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it'd be fun and everything, and honestly, it's better than most movies that pedophile was putting out.
Let's just say that. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears on that one. People have been asking me what Becoming Undead 3 is about, because one is about losing yourself, or one's about losing your life. The second one's about losing yourself. What's the third one about? And all I'm gonna say about the third one is if you've seen The Searchers, it's The Searchers with the undead. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
So
Awesome. So before we go ahead and get out of here, I also want to go and thank House of Mysterious Secrets. Check them out at houseofmysterioussecrets.com for all your horror merch. Use our code 4130 and save 10% on all your horror merch gear. And I also want to once again give a big shout out to Astronomicon. Like I said, I'll be honest, I'll be there mostly on Sunday. That's my day off of work. I'm going to be walking around doing a lot of interviewing and everything, but it's going to be a fun time. A lot of really cool people going to be there. Mick Foley's going to be there. Corey Taylor's going to be there. Who?
I said bang bang. Foley. Yeah.
Right. There's going to be a lot of pretty cool people there. So if you got enough time to go check it out and everything, it's out in Ann Arbor. If you're in the area, it's going to be a fucking blast. And also, next week, we got our good buddy Dynamo Mars from the band The Deadites is going to be joining us as we talk about one of our favorite films of all time, Evil Dead. And I'm assuming that's one of Ron's favorite movies as well.
It is one of my favorite movies, but it all depends. I might stop by, but you never know.
It's a good one. It is a good one, that's for sure. You know, who doesn't like a little bit of Ashley?
Okay, so yeah.
All right. So, all right. With that being said, guys, the crypt is closed.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.